Hi guys, picked this up in the recycling centre. Looks like somebody's tried to mend it by wrapping tape around the wires. It's a little remote controlled or wire controlled aeroplane. Tommy, 1994. I keep picking up Tommy toys. Anyway, it's going to need some work on it because as soon as I plug it in, yeah, some of the wires are making contact. Yeah, so that'll be a little project. Shouldn't be too hard to do. Find some suitable wire and rewire it. Right, there we are. Well, it's only 2 wires that need replacing. So I'll see if I've got some two wire cable. Make it up. Those buttons there, depending on which one's pressed, depends on whether you get forwards or backwards, I would think. Yeah, because that's the positive is that plate there, and the negative is that plate there. Yeah, so if that one's up touching there and the other one's down touching there, then it goes negative down that side and positive down that side. If that one's pushed up, so that one's touching there and that one's touching the bottom, then it's negative down that side and positive down that side. If you can see what I mean. Negative plate there, positive plate there. Yeah, I have to find some wire and we can repair that. I've had a search through my junk box for various connectors with wire on them. This one looks like it's about the right thickness conductors on it, so I'll use this. It's a power lead for something. Game expert, so that must be for playing some game in the car. I was rather hoping that would come apart easily. We may not be so lucky. You can see the sheathing on the original wire is just crumbling away. Don't know if we'll be able to glue that back together or not. Probably. See if the soldering iron's warm enough yet. That might work. I'll have to put some glue around there in a minute. Right. It's only about that long. I think this is about protection for the child, that if they try and wrap it around their neck, they've only got a short length, and then you can pull that apart, so they shouldn't be able to strangle themselves. So I'm not going to make this any longer than it already is. Right, that rubberized protector bit is already broken, so that's going to be no use trying to save that. Should be good enough. Let's get that back in there. Junk out the way. I think those two green bits there, those bits are actually pillars that are melted in place, and they've broken off while I've been moving things. And put a bit of super glue around this one before we put it back together. Right, tidied off my worktop again. So this one, can we get this one apart? Well, I did manage to get it apart. It did take a lot of unreasonable force, but we got it. So we'll put some wires on there now. That's the front piece that went round the outside, and it's got little clips in there, or ratchety effect, that went into there and there, but this is all glued in place. Now we can have a look inside here. I'll just clean this muck out the way again. 1994 TOMY, made in Thailand. I was looking at videos of TOMY products, and I see in some places it's pronounced TOMY. Ah. Oh, that's supposed to make a squeaking noise or something, isn't that? It's not, but that's what it's for. Oh, that's an interesting extra feature. So lift out. Oh, yes. So at the front end there, we've got a opening beak, because it's supposed to look like a bird. Which is operated by that lever, which also operates the wings. Right, so looking at that, red at the back. And white, which I'm replacing with black at the front. Okay, you're going to come off now. Try not to burn my fingers. Okay, so this one, we want to make it about the same length. So about there somewhere should do. I want to tie a knot in it. Need that in there. No reverse, what's going on there? It's got to be this, at this end. Right, I'm going to have to take that apart again. Before I take the hand controller apart again, because I think we've got something loose in there, I've just connected that to external batteries. So that's the ordinary forward motion. And then if we reverse it, that's supposed to be clapping or a bird noise anyway. So shall we take the gearbox apart and see how that works? Because clearly in one direction the motor's driving the wheels, and in the other direction it's driving this this bit. That's easy enough. Right, so we've got a cam or an offset, offset peg or a cam there that turns around. That clearly goes in there, does it? Right, if I hold that in place, so that's going like that, while that one's going up and down. Put power on it. See if I can hold it in place. That's going up and down, and at the same time this one's going forwards and backwards. It's the same cam operating both motions. So we can put that cover back on again. That took me ages. I'm definitely not going to include all of that in a video. Probably ran the battery down in the camera filming that. How awkward. it's going to be the same on this side. And like a fool, I'm going to have a look at it. Right. So, can we get this one back on? Any easier than the other side? It's unlikely, but we'll try. Well, the other side took me ages to get back on. And that one I did straight away. Right, now do we dare look at the rest of it? So that's going to be fun. Oh, I've got to take that off because there's a screw in the middle there. Alright. Right, first thing to notice is that spring's probably going to fly off, isn't it? Oh no, it didn't fly off. Right, these are the cams that drive the wheels. Offset cams. That's the motor. Small gear driving a big gear which has got a spring on it, so there's some sort of clutch mechanism under there, no doubt. And we lift all of that out in one go. Okay, we hold that very carefully. Right. You might be able to see a sort of a V tooth sticking off the big plastic gear to that bit behind it. That's the clutch mechanism. I don't know if that's visible. And if I let go, it's all going to fall apart. Right, just there's a V shape. That's what engages, and the spring holds it in place, but if there's anything stopping it turning, then it will slip over that tooth. And this bit turning here, if we let this come out, that gear there, depending on which way the motor's turning, depends on what it engages. Whether it engages there, for this one, which is the cam that operates this. It's a cam shape there. So that's the one that operates the flapping wings, the opening beak and the sound effect. And it only does that when the motor turns in the direction that engages that gear with that gear. When the motor goes the other way, then it's this one that's engaged. Either Must be there. Yeah. So forwards, that's engaged, that turns the wheels. Backwards, that one's engaged, probably there, and that turns the cam. So, to get that back in place again, cam 1 will be up there. That one goes in. There, I reckon it probably went on the other side of there. Let's have a look. That looks about right. Get that back in there. I think we can see. So, can we turn it? Yeah, we can't really see the operation. If I put that back on, we definitely won't be able to see the operation. What I'm trying to do here is fix where those little metal plates or springs were held in place by the plastic melted through them, because that had broken off when I took it apart. So what I'm doing now is heating up a screw until it's melting the plastic underneath. And then screwing it in while it's still hot. That didn't quite work that time. The other one worked fine. You can probably guess what I'm saying. So it melts its way into the plastic. So that's actually going to make its own thread in there and hold itself in place if we're lucky. We'll find out in a minute. Right. Walking. Talking. Walking. Talking. Oh, that spring's loose. I'll put that in place. Stick it back together and see what happens. I get the impression that the slipping clutch is slipping too easily. But I can't figure out why. Back together, finally, And I'm not going to lie to you, it took ages to get it back together. I had to keep taking it apart and putting it back together. I could get it to go forwards, but it was struggling to do the wing flapping. That bit. The slipping clutch was slipping. And what it was, I had to readjust the tension on the clutch, I suppose is the best way to put it. Had to slide it in a little bit so the springs were holding it tighter. So now we go forwards, and if I hold it up so we can see, you get flapping wings and beak, and there is sound effects, but most of the mechanical noises are louder than the sound effect. It's supposed to sort of cheep a bit. You can almost hear it. Yeah, it does cheep, but I'd say this is all a bit too noisy for it. And then the wheels don't actually turn, it walks. So, there we go. Replaced the wire and spent a lot of time taking it apart and trying to put it back together again. Job done.
Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.